Welcome. I'm Colleen Wessel-McCoy, Associate Dean, Assistant Professor of Peace and Justice Studies, and Director of the MAPST program at the Earlham School of Religion. It's my joy to welcome all of you to the joint opening convocation of the 2026-2027 academic year. Whether you're joining us here in Bethany's Nycurry Chapel, in person, via Zoom, or later viewing us online, we are excited to welcome all students, faculty, administrators, staff, colleagues, and friends of the Earlham School of Religion and Bethany Theological Seminary to our service. We want to extend a special welcome to Dr. James Logan, Interim Dean of ESR and Senior Associate Vice President for Academic Affairs at Earlham College, and to Reverend Dr. Jeff Carter, President of Bethany, who will be involved in our time of blessing. Both of them will be involved in our time of blessing near the conclusion of the service.
And I'm Steve Schweitzer, Academic Dean at Bethany Theological Seminary. Let me add my welcome to each of you today as we begin our new academic year here at Bethany and ESR. Today's message will be brought to us by the newest member of ESR's faculty, Dr. Henry Burt, Assistant Professor of Spiritual and Pastoral Care. Henry teaches courses that emphasize caregiving as a communal approach with the lived experiences of both caregiver and care seeker as resources for healing, empowerment, and transformation. Good caregiving starts with good self-care, and good self-care starts with honoring what is life-giving for us, including our avocations and the context we feel called to. We look forward, Henry, to hearing your words this morning. For those of you who are new to the communities of Bethany and ESR, you will see that there's a time of open worship immediately following Henry's message. In the manner of the Religious Society of Friends, you are invited during open worship to enter a time of quiet and expectant waiting, listening for the Spirit's words moving among us. For those of you physically present in this location, if you are led by the Spirit to speak, please stand and then wait for a microphone to briefly share your thoughts with others so that persons here and those joining us online may hear you. If you are joining us live via Zoom and are led by the Spirit to speak during open worship, please type your words into the chat and someone will read what you have to share with the others here. For all who speak, please allow several moments of silent listening before sharing your words so that we may listen attentively and fully to one another.
And now, again, welcome. Welcome to those who have recently joined our community and those who are returning at the start of this new academic year. Let us worship the God who brings us together for a time of studying, learning, and growing together in community. Please stand and join us in the responsive call to worship, and then remain standing for the hymn. We come today with hearts ready to receive wisdom.
We come today with hearts ready to receive understanding.
We long for insight, to know and to be known.
We long for righteousness, justice, and equity.
We embrace your call to walk in every good path which you have placed before us.
We seek your passion, your desire for the flourishing of this world in which you have placed us.
Let our hearts be stirred and warmed by your presence.
To live and act with wisdom as God's Spirit moves among us. Now is the darkness vanished away.
morning. My name is David Reginald, student at ESR. I'll be reading the first scripture for today. It comes from Proverbs chapter 2, verse 1 to 15. It reads, "My child, if you accept my words and treasure up my commandments within you, making your ear attentive to wisdom and inclining your heart to understanding, if you indeed cry out for insight and raise your voice for understanding, if you seek it like silver and search for it as for hidden treasures, then you will understand the fear of the Lord and find a knowledge of God. For the Lord gives wisdom from his mouth, calm knowledge and understanding. He stores up sound wisdom for the upright. He is a shield to those who walk blamelessly, guarding the paths of justice and preserving the way of his faithful ones. Then you will understand righteousness and justice and equity, every good path. For wisdom will come into your heart, and knowledge will be pleasant to your soul. Prudence will watch over you, and understanding will guard you. It will save you from the way of evil, from those who speak perversely, who forsake the paths of unrighteousness and walk in the ways of darkness, who rejoice in doing evil and delight in the perverseness of evil, those whose paths are crooked and who are devious in their ways."
And I am Jamie McBride. I am an MDiv student at Bethany, and I will be doing the reading from Luke chapter 24. When he was at the table with them, he took bread, blessed and broke it, and gave it to them. Then their eyes were open, and they recognized him, and he vanished from their sight. They said to each other, "Were not our hearts burning within us while he was talking to us on the road, while he was opening the scripture to us?" The word of the Lord for the people of God.
Well, welcome one and all to another academic year. Welcome new students and returning students. Welcome faculty, administration, and staff. Welcome alumni. Welcome friends of our seminaries. Welcome any Earlham College freshmen who are looking for your math class. This is not math class, but you are still welcome here. It is tradition at the Earlham School of Religion and Bethany Theological Seminary to have your newest faculty member deliver the opening convocation address. My hope for today is that I will not have you rethink this tradition. No, today, as we begin a new season of study, instruction, ministry, administration, and life together, I would like to call our attention to cultivating an unconventional wisdom in the age of new normal. But be cautious. Side effects may include heartburn. In 1918, Henry Alexander Wise Wood, an American innovator in the newspaper press, published an article in the National Electric Light Association bulletin entitled, "Beware." He begins, "The social and economic problems which the war has bequeathed the United States are too vast and wholly new to be solved synthetically by any body of men, however wise." Wise Wood advises against concocting synthetic, cheap solutions, more so diversions, to what he believes to be the globalization that had laid waste to the Western world. He deplores the enticing ideologies of, quote, "the maelstrom of Petrograd," or the treacherous reefs of a Germany termed docile, or, and this one is really the kicker, the alluring water of intellectualia, babbling and shallow. He writes, "The air is far too full of sweet singers who strive to lure off their course the destinies of millions of people in search of a utopia of painless experience." The question for Wise Wood becomes, quote, "How shall we pass from war to the new normal with the least jar? And in what respects should the new normal be shaped to differ from the old? You will have to read for yourselves this enticing article in a rather niche and now defunct catalog if you want the full scope of Wise Wood's diagnosis and treatment. I will highlight this, though, and it is his admonition that the more closely we in our turn follow the teachings of practical experience, the fewer will be our disasters, the more numerous our successes. 2026 has been many things. A 250th anniversary for this country, the 32nd anniversary of our two seminaries' partnership, and yes, the 108th anniversary of the coinage of the term new normal. We thank Henry Alexander Wise Wood for that. Now, if we can put aside his own nationalism for the time being, I believe that his are rather wise words for our day. This all from a man named Wise and Henry. There is the emphasis on practical experience. In the humanities, we often refer to this as lived experience. Harnessing our practical experience by way of critical reflection is a portal to attending to the very real pain of a broken world. Wise Wood would have us lean into this pain and brokenness as sites of transformation rather than to avert our eyes, opting for what the sweet singers entice us with. Now, if you are like me, this subject of the new normal has really come to light in the last decade or so, especially during the COVID pandemic. Work and study looked different, yes, but it also brought into question newfound issues of human dignity and environmental catastrophe. All of this amid the dawn of generative artificial intelligence. In this new normal, how do we navigate disinformation and deepfakes? All part of a mutant neoliberalism that generates and thereby capitalizes on people's fear. About 7.5 months ago, on January 7th, I woke up to what I thought would be another routine day. I went grocery shopping at Winn-Dixie. I needed to restock, having just returned the night before to St. Augustine, Florida, after a few weeks of visiting family for the holidays. After unloading my groceries, I sat down for lunch. I intended to finish a book that I would assign for a spring semester social psychology course at the college where I served as a one-year postdoctoral instructor. And then I saw the news. An ICE agent had just shot 37-year-old Renee Good in Minneapolis, a mere 4 blocks away from where George Floyd was choked to death. As one of my last rituals of saying farewell to Minnesota the summer before, I visited George Floyd Square and the Say Their Names Cemetery. This hit really close to home, and I felt so alone in it. While hundreds of my fellow Minnesota clergy took to the streets in protest, holding night vigils in sub-zero temperatures, the streets of St. Augustine were eerily quiet. The following Saturday, I joined a biology professor and his wife for a local protest at the major fort in town, a national historic landmark steeped in settler colonialism. The turnout was so small that I made it in every picture in the brief write-up of that Sunday's edition of the St. Augustine Record. Alex Preddy's murder at the hands of ICE agents 17 days later only intensified my sense of estrangement, of being a stranger in a strange land. Operation Metro Surge was now fully in the national limelight, yet where was all the sackcloth and ashes around me? Tourists flocked to the distilleries, theme parks, and bed and breakfast dotting the perimeter of campus without skipping a beat. Students doom-scrolled away and took endless selfies while sunbathing on the quad. Minneapolis may as well have been on Mars. But for me, this was my home under attack. As a people pleaser, I get a little squeamish when it comes to anger. Over the years, though, I have gotten better at being angry. I should say I've gotten better at being more attuned to my anger and stewarding it. Through a wise clinical pastoral education supervisor who challenged me to lean more into my anger, I have learned to embrace it as a pastoral virtue. At its most basic, anger attunes us to how our personal and collective boundaries have been crossed. In Abrahamic traditions, the Psalms and the major and minor prophets of the Old Testament are rich sources of a righteous anger. Idolatry, exploitation, and political corruption riddled Israel in ways that nowadays hit more than a little too close to home. Anger, you may say, registers that something is not normal. As I reflect on my anger over this last year especially, I believe it to be twofold. In one sense, it is my anger over political violence, Christian nationalism, banning of books, egotistical waging of war, climate abuse, and technologically induced social disconnection. I could go on. In another sense, it is my anger that so many remain apathetic to these injustices. That is what really got to me this past winter. In a beach community that cultivates a spring break vibe all 52 weeks of the year. Our new normal promotes and thrives on a relentless escapism that breeds apathy, which is fuel to the fire and the normalization of injustice. The neoliberal enterprise, with consumerism at its forefront, cultivates an air that is far too full of sweet singers, to quote Wise Wood. There is an entitlement to personal utopias of painless experience. In his 2018 book, Meaning and Melancholia, Life in the Age of Bewilderment, psychoanalyst Christopher Bolus aptly diagnoses our modern predicament by way of historical, social, and especially psychological analysis. I quote Bolus at length here. By the start of the 21st century, Americans and Europeans had turned away in significant numbers from introspective living. Seeking a safer and less disturbing day-to-day existence, they turned away from subjectivity. They dropped out of their minds. This disinterest in inner life allowed another personality formation to develop. Bolus applies the term normotic illness to this newfound personality formation. Normopaths, according to Bolus, are, quote, abnormally normal. They seek refuge from the examined life by immersing themselves in, quote, material comfort in a life of recreation. This escapism, the plight of the normopath, suggests an acquiescence to our new normal. From a sociological standpoint, we see a shift towards the normopathic lifestyle and how American living communities are increasingly structured, removed from a civil demand to engage the diversities of community and the growing edges therein. Bolus notes that at the beginning of the 21st century, only 1% of the American population lived in compound communities, such as gated residences. That number has exploded within a quarter of a century. On my 10-minute commute to campus alone in St. Augustine, I passed the Landing, City Gates, and Madeira private living communities. I have quite a few friends in architecture, and they have related to me how many of their new homes that their clients envision do away with the living room or the front porch, traditional watering holes of the family and the neighborhood. More and more families would rather devote the majority of their floor space to the bedrooms than to common areas. The new normal of a Western society that promotes a private escapism into material comfort and recreation certainly has its individual and collective repercussions. Bolus is by no means presumptuous in tacking on the label of illness. In his clinical work with normal paths, Bolus observes, and I quote at length, a form of deprivation that creates a sensorially and intellectually undernourished self. People may adapt to this with further withdrawal from the world of stimulation, that is, from anything deriving from the outside world that impacts the self. People become less capable of astute judgment, less able to differentiate one issue from another, and less skilled in providing ordinary self-guidance. In other words, they have lost essential capacities. End quote. Though Bolus does not give mention, I surmise that his patients increasingly exhibit symptoms of what many now consider to be an epidemic of loneliness, especially among men. All to say, Bolus's therapeutic perspective is a critical but also, I believe, compassionate read on the psychosocial state of affairs in Western society. Normalpathy, I believe, ought to elicit a call to confession as well as a call to restoration from us all. However much or however little we may be personally impacted by an emotional deadening, apathy, and the resulting dysfunction and distress. None of us are impervious to or exempt from the new normal. I, for one, certainly remain complacent around pressing societal issues at the local, national, and global level. In our collective work towards intrapersonal and interpersonal liberation, we hold one another and ourselves accountable to do better, all the while caring for one another with compassion and dignity. This is a necessary but certainly not an easy task. Then again, a seminary education in the 21st century new normal is not for the faint of heart. It does not promise a utopia of painless experience, either during our work here or in the ministries that await. It is all the wiser, then, that we have embarked on this new academic year to cojourn, a praxis that womanist theologian Marcia Foster Boyd proposes in her work on communal contextual pastoral care. Being in continuous communal discernment as we pursue our calls and live out our vocations is a commitment to sustained practical experience when many are looking for the next life hack. Make no mistake, what we have here at Earlham and Bethany as Quaker and Brethren seminaries is something very much countercultural, unconventional, not normal. Theopoetics, peace and social transformation pastoral ministry, Quaker and Brethren studies, these are all practices of resistance, I believe, against the increasingly normalized corporate greed, militarism, marginalization, and isolation at our back door, and those communities which we also entrust our care to. A practical experience of seminary grounded in spirited critical thinking and a life together through the weekly rhythms of worship, fellowship, and ministry, I believe is walking in the ways of wisdom. Here I call to mind the opening verse of our passage from Proverbs. My children, make your ears attentive to wisdom and incline your heart to understanding. I like to think of wisdom more as a verb than as a noun. Wisdom is action. The 11th century Benedictine monk Anselm of Canterbury spoke of a faith-seeking understanding. And that is what I believe we are after here. Faith in a divine love, in humanity, in the arc of the moral universe, to quote Martin Luther King Jr. An understanding which celebrates a tension of mystery and incompleteness. Wisdom, faith, seeking understanding, it attunes us to our essential capacities, our gifts even, and illumines us to how best we may steward them in service to others. A wisdom that is unconventional leans into heat, into pain and brokenness, with gentle composure, and it sparks a righteous anger where we see injustice and where we see apathy over injustice. I think there is something to be said for the official, unofficial fight song of Earlham College, at least its beginning. Fight, fight, inner light. A seminary education will further compel and equip our inner light to fight for justice, attending to the marginalized, to a normopathic society, and yes, even to perpetrators caught up in a web of evil. I consider this caregiving to be a part of the fight. There is so much that this year will bring. I ask that we be expectant to the revelation that I hope will meet all of us in our studies, in our teaching, in our ministry, and in our administration. It will most surely have our hearts burn within us as we encounter the sacred anew in others, in ourselves, and in a world longing for healing and transformation. In the name of the one who makes all things new. Amen.
invite you to join me in the blessing of one another. As our community comes together at the beginning of this new academic year, we invite you into this time of blessing. Will the newly admitted students of ESR in Bethany, whether here or at home, would you please stand? All of the newly admitted students. Thank you. Together, we are glad that you are with us, and we welcome you to our community. We raise our hand to pray that the Holy One blesses you with courage to listen carefully, engage fully, and wonder deeply, all of which lead to greater understanding and faithfulness.
As our newest students remain standing, we ask all returning students to also stand.
We are glad that you have returned to our community. We raise our hand to pray that you are blessed with strength for the ongoing journey, with excitement in all that is required of you, and curiosity for what you have yet to learn. As students remain standing, will new faculty members and new administrators and staff members please stand? We are glad that you are with us, and we welcome you to our community. We raise our hands to pray that the Holy One blesses you with passionate and patient minds, devotion to our students, and fulfillment of your vocation among us.
Is it my turn? As the students and new employees remain standing, will returning faculty, administrators, and staff members please stand? Together. We are glad that you have returned to our community. We raise our hands to pray that you are blessed with strength for the ongoing journey, with wisdom for guiding and supporting our communities, and with thoughtfulness to fulfill our shared vision of educational excellence.
If anyone here or at home is still seated, we invite you to also stand with us and together. As
all of us stand together, we share in the labor of love that makes these graduate institutions of learning into a community of challenge and support. May we grow together in knowledge and understanding, seeking renewed minds and the transforming presence of the Spirit among us, for our sakes and the sake of this blessed and broken world. Amen.
I invite you to remain standing for the benediction.
Blessings in your coming, blessings as you go forward, blessings on the year ahead.
May God's face shine upon you and give you peace. I invite all of those here to join us for common meal immediately following out in the gathering area, following the postlude. Thank you all for being here.